and welcome. You're watching Medically Speaking. Today, we'll be talking about various aspects of the coronavirus pandemic, the third wave, the inevitable third wave. Is it already around the corner? Many say it's already here. What about vaccination, vaccination for children? You all have many questions in your head. To answer all of those and more, I am joined by Dr. Rajesh Malhotra, Chief of AIIMS Trauma Centre. Thank you, sir, once again for joining us and taking out the time to speak to NewsX.
Thank you.
So my first question to you, as far as vaccination is concerned, in the last week, there's been a lot of noise about this booster shot. There are people who are very worried about the third wave, the susceptible, elderly, comorbid. Many are asking us, even on the news channels, and they're asking us to talk to experts like you about the need of this booster vaccine and if it overall improves their efficacy of the vaccine in case they are able to get a booster shot.
So that's a great question, Meenakshi, and I can understand the concern behind it. But let me be very clear about this. You know, when there's a pandemic, the public health aspects have to be kept over and above the individual or the limited goals. The objectives have to be more broad-based and generally conducive to the overall welfare of the nation and the world in case of a pandemic. So, as far as a booster dose is concerned, it's neither required at this point of time nor advisable, because ideally the booster dose should be given when the entire population has been vaccinated by 2 doses. It's not fair also to give a booster dose when the people are waiting for their first and second dose. So that's the public health aspect of it. The second is the necessity. Now, it's not an easy thing. One easy criterion is that you say somebody, say for example, who's got the solid organ transplant, kidney transplant, liver transplant, or somebody who's on immunosuppressants, or somebody whose immunity is markedly reduced. There we do need to concentrate for many reasons. One is, of course, these are the people who are at high risk for mortality. Second is that we also know that if the virus keeps on multiplying inside an immunocompromised person for a very long time, it may cause recurrent infections while persisting in the body, every time with a viral strain different from the first, second, or third infection. So people have reported infection, persistence of even more than 150, 160 days in a person who's immunocompromised. So in that sense, it is required. So I think when it's a time for us to give a booster dose, they are the people who should be prioritized rather than, age related criteria. Because, we may end up in a situation where everybody needs a booster dose. Because
but sir, will we see, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you here. Will we see a booster dose in India as well? Because it is quite eagerly awaited.
Yeah, so we might eventually decide about giving a booster dose, because we know that, certain vaccines like mRNA, for instance, we know that their immunity produced by them wanes with time, right? And they have also not shown to be very greatly effective against the Delta variant. That's why you are having such a big outbreak in US, where predominantly only mRNA vaccine has been given. So there are certain justifications for believing that we might need a booster dose even for everybody eventually, because it's a new disease and it's a new vaccine. Right. We have to know for sure how long the immunity lasts after 2 doses. That we'll come to know most practically by the breakthrough infections. Right. There's no other way to know. There's no way in the entire population we estimate the antibody and the T cell immunity to make sure that we are immune or we are not. So if the breakthrough infections start rising, we may be constrained to give a booster dose to everybody, even those who have received 2 shots earlier.
But so my question, and it's a follow-up question, and I'm sorry I'm interrupting you, because as you speak, more questions are coming to my mind. You speak of a possibility or an eventuality of about everyone getting a booster dose. Will that act against various mutations, if at all we see them, of COVID in the future as well?
That's a difficult question to answer, because that needs me to know what the next variant will be like. So we can only know about the variants which are in existence. I can't tell you about the next variant, whether, and I tell you, not every variant is necessarily more lethal or more dangerous than the previous one. And some of them are not even compatible with survival. So the virus may itself mutate into a form which may just die and may not
Yes.
even survive. But what is very sure is that for another surge or a wave to come, that virus strain has to be significantly better in its own term than Delta variant. See, the Delta is so much better than the D614G in terms of infectivity, airborne transmission, the viral load in a person, breakthrough infection, ability to beat the vaccine. So the next one will have to be that far better than Delta, because it's a survival of the fittest. The
Yes,
Delta
you
won't
say
let.
better, and that, of course, is giving palpitations to everyone. But I'm sure it's
So,
stronger, sir. When we
yeah.
speak of vaccination, sir, and I want to take this forward, today is a landmark day for India. 1 crore people vaccinated. WHO has also congratulated us. Of course, many congratulations to you all, the entire country, especially the medical community. But the question is, India's population is large. The government's goal was to vaccinate the entire population, including, of course, the rural population by the end of the year. That seems quite difficult. When do you see, or what is your assessment of it practically happening?
So this is a great step forward in that direction only. The thing is, one, that everybody has been saying that we have to vaccinate 1 crore people a day in order to vaccinate everybody by December. Now that it has happened, why the doubt? I mean, it's your own calculation till yesterday or day before or last week. I think it's a great step and everybody needs to be congratulated. And second thing is, if whatever better from the point of view of virus or worse from our point of view, if a worse or a more lethal strain is to come, the rapid vaccination is one big hurdle it will face. Because longer we take, the longer it persists in the community, the longer it multiplies, the longer it is given opportunity to multiply by disregard of physical distancing and other norms. The more are the chances of a worse or a more lethal strain, or it's actually we may not call it better or worse. Let's call it an upgraded version, like we have a software. So an upgraded version, like of any other software, an upgraded version has to be significantly more potent and has more attributes, so that it can displace the previous one. So that way, I don't think that, and I'm hoping, maybe it's a wishful thinking, that we will not have that much worse variant than a Delta variant so soon.
Yes, so but at the same time, the number of cases are also on the rise while we're getting vaccinated as well. Today itself, there are over 46,000 cases. The actual number is 46,729 cases, which have been reported within 24 hours. Kerala really is one state where we are seeing a huge surge. Onam, many say, is one of the reasons. As we are reaching the end of this discussion, sir, this is festive season. We have Janmashtami. I think on the Sunday, Monday, 29th, 30th, many other festivals coming up. Do you think that infections could rise? And any advice as you sign off for the people?
Yeah, absolutely. See, the basic rules of the game have not changed. So anytime when a lot of people get together, whether leave alone the cause, whatever the cause, if the people get together, they are going to abet the spread of the infection. And second thing is, all said and done, our vaccines have got one inherent disadvantage. They have not been proven to be extremely effective at preventing the spread.
Yeah.
So, we have to have, eventually we should have vaccines which cause local immunity, say in the nose, so that the virus cannot get a foothold in your body. The virus is getting a foothold, and after that it's being neutralized by the body immunity against severe infection, ICU admission, ventilator, death. But if the vaccines are designed which can boost local immunity and avoid the virus getting into your body, will be a far better intervention in terms of restricting the spread. So yes, the social distancing, the physical distancing, the mask and the everything has to be followed, whatever the festival, because I think there's no bigger religion than trying to look after your countrymen, look after the society, and think about safety of the everyone else around you, society and the country.
And so, that was going to be my last question. But quickly, I want to ask you one more question, because you speak about really when people gather, the chances of infection are higher. Now we are seeing almost every state reopening schools. What's your, what do you think about the same? There is a body of doctors, about 50 of them, who've written to the government questioning this move. Yes, academics is suffering, but at the same time, children could be carriers, even though their personal immunity may be high. What do you think? Should schools be reopened or not?
So it is something, this is an area which should be treated very cautiously, because we have examples where and don't take me wrong, I'm not saying they shouldn't be open, but we have seen that in UK, USA, when the schools were open, there was a surge in cases, mainly because children don't comply with masks. Children don't comply with social distancing. Children rapidly spread infection among themselves. Look at measles. Measles causes such rapid infection that the whole class gets infected. And the Delta variant has had that R0, which is so high. So that is why I think the constant watch has to be kept, number one. Number two, one must make sure that the entire school staff is vaccinated. So those who are refusing to get vaccinated should be kept away from classrooms. Number three, the classes can be held in the outdoors, wherever it is possible. Distance has to be maintained like it is being planned, 50% people only coming. But I think it is very important that the families who are sending children to the school are very cautious about the fact that the elderly at the home are kept away from these children for some time, at least initially. And I think we have to have a constant guarded approach, keep a watch on what is happening, and be ready to change our approach in case we think that it is causing localized outbreaks.
All right. Thank you, sir. These were, of course, some great tips ahead of the festival season. And at the same time, when schools are reopening, I hope viewers, you keep them in mind. Mostly, of course, try to stay home, stay safe. Thank you, sir, for joining us, of course, with your suggestions and your perspective on vaccination for COVID-19.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.